I think a lot of debaters at closing unnecessarily burden themselves by carrying too many boats and logs. Instead, they could just win by looking for the easiest and quickest path to victory. Let me give one example for this video. Let's say that you are closing government on the motion, "This House regrets the premium placed on forgiveness as a virtue." Your opening government ran a series of claims that include how this premium is disproportionately unfair to victims and minority groups, and they make a very compelling case to say that this expectation for forgiveness is oftentimes imposed coercively and unfairly, such as in the case of the failure of international justice systems to prosecute war criminals because of the narrative of moving on or because of historical revisionism. Opening opposition, on the other hand, explains that this premium is necessary for social order and stability, to build trust between communities and peoples in the post-conflict, such as in the case of Truth and Reconciliation Commissions. They even explain that the expectation for forgiveness is good for minorities, especially for the pursuit of justice. Now, again, if you were closing government, you might consider that you can run multiple different types of extensions. You can run a vertical extension on the complex power dynamics of interpersonal forgiveness, with the intention of extending from opening government, because since they talked about the macro analysis of communities and minorities, you could focus more on the individual aspect of how it affects individual and interpersonal relations. Or you can run a horizontal extension to explain how these Truth and Reconciliation Commissions are ineffective and how you could resolve post-conflict resolutions in a better manner in government side. However, the reason as to why I would argue that this would not be a very quick and clear path to victory is because there's simply a lot of legwork that you would have to do in order to prove these extensions. For example, for the vertical extension, even if you're arguing in the individual aspect, you would still have to demonstrate that your individual dynamics were not different from the implied mechanisms of the macro analysis presented by opening government. Or if you were doing the horizontal analysis, you would still have to explain all of those mechanisms of post-conflict resolution and the incentives of different party members or individuals or politicians that are in power to be able to cede to the demands of minority groups as a consequence of the premium placed on forgiveness. So it's not necessarily optimal for the effort that you have to put, especially as a starting point for your extension. In this case, it would simply be more effective to build the most likely counterfactual to the premium and say that this would resolve some of the problems of justice and social disorder better, which, by the way, are problems that are implied by the opening opposition case because they are implying that the most likely counterfactual from government side is pure revenge all the time. So in this case, you can claim that without the premium, the social expectation to immediately ask for due reparation would be more prominent, and justice systems or legal systems would form around collectivizing this anger in a more productive way, which directly responds to the irrational revenge of opening opposition. So here, just by solving the counterfactual dilemma, you immediately outweigh your opening and you resolve the opening deadlock in a very efficient manner. That's it for today's video. Thank you everyone and have a wonderful day.